Welcome to another Pike and Shot battle. This is another friendly skirmish match against Leonard. In this match, I've chosen a really bad army list against a really good army list, more for historical curiosity than anything. So, English 1558, why is this so terrible? Well, for one thing, there aren't as many longbowmen as the earlier English lists, and the longbowmen are good, and on top of that, the earlier longbowmen get swordsman abilities. They can fight pretty well in melee. These do not. They're cheaper, but it's not really worth the loss. We also lose the late gendarmes that we had access to. Now we just have devil lancers, which are light lancers. Gross. We do have skirmishing arquebusiers. These are good. And we have our very solid light lancers with a little bit of support from mounted arquebusiers. The infantry is better than the earlier list. So the earlier list had bow and bill, which were half heavy weapon, half bow. These are Elizabethan foot, so it's a quarter each of arquebusiers, bowmen, billmen, and pikemen. They're perfectly respectable average pike kiles. Unfortunately, the Spanish can field the best veterans in the time period, so we'll need to work some kind of advantage to survive. Luckily, it does look like terrain is going to be on our side, so we can deploy either on this hill or this hill. Both is probably a bad idea because then he could just assault one. For forest work, we want arquebusiers and foot archers. We'll want artillery to concentrate on his large blocks of pikemen. Light cavalry, some shooting, and 4 light lancers to control the battlefield. I probably don't want to go overboard. Elizabethan foot, 3 units. Non-light cavalry, demi-lancers. Do I want more than 2 units? I don't know that I really do. Let's max on the light lancers. And now the choice is between demi-lancers or raw Elizabethan foot, which is the same as the average, except that, it's even more terrible. The math is annoying, isn't it? 5 units of infantry doesn't really seem like enough. Well, we're going to have to rely on our numbers, I suppose. Yeah, I am wondering if I'm going too light on infantry. The math is awkward no matter what. Nope, we're just gonna commit to our original plan here. The hell with it. On to deployment then. Now we need to pick a hill, and I think it's gonna be this hill. It's gonna be a bit awkward to cram everyone on, but I think it'll be worth it. Keep our light arquebusiers in the forest, where they can kind of scout things out. Archers can stay behind and hold the edge of the forest and shoot into it. We have our swarm of light cavalry, and demo lancers will be in reserve. They can move to one flank or the other depending. So the Spanish army is potentially much higher quality, but of course, if he does go with the quality route, his army will be smaller. If he goes more for quantity, we might have a chance for offensive action. And what also could happen is a stare down as he occupies this hill, and we slug it out with medium and light in the forest and kind of stare at each other here. Yeah, so we'll get the guns up here, line up our main infantry line, and see what he does. Alright, Leonard is calling me out for a coward. He's saying he'll let me cross in formation and then commence the battle on his side. Even notice this was a large stream, to be honest. Well, depending on his composition, I may take him up on that. Veteran, early tercio. Yeah, these units I have no answer to. And of course, there's going to be more than just one unit of light horse hiding in this forest. Well, let's consider his offer while we send out our scouts. If I were to send out my longbowmen, probably want one unit to seize this village and one this village. Very good. Cavalry. Can't fight the gendarmes. At least not one-on-one. Alright, onward. Next turn. Leonard's still trying to get me to cross. Let's see. So this is actually incorrect here. 150 POA for being a Kyle and having pikes. They just get 50 for 50% pikes, which is honestly generous to them because they're actually 25% pikes. So that's what he meant by he's revealed his hand. He's showing what he's got. 6 infantry to 5, though. That's a bit tough. Looking at the impact, so let's see, it's 100 versus any mounted. Now, I don't think it combines. I think it's either 100. Maybe it does combine. I'm not sure if Pike's not charging. So if I charge with Pikes into cavalry, I only get the 50. If I defend, I get 150. But in the melee, it's just 50 and plus 15 for wrapping around if I outnumber the enemy. Whereas these veterans get equality, so it would be 50 to 100. Pretty rough. Three cavalry that way, and then 2 this way, I think. And if we send out, let's see, light arquebusiers and the longbowmen to seize this village, and the same to seize this village. And in the meantime, we can cross over. Onward. Alright, so Leonard says if you see absolutely no chance to fight in the open, then it would also be okay if we try to attack that hill. It could be a more interesting scenario. The only thing I want to avoid is a waiting contest until the turns run out. Fair enough. I'm not sure if I see no chance to attack. I think my only chance lies in harassment with my light infantry and cavalry before contact. What's your range? Keep trundling forward then. Great, we're across there. And we can reveal our hand a bit. Good. Next turn. And slowly move forward. Okay, and cover that advance with light lancers and start hovering. There we go. Next turn. I want to get my longbowman here-ish to support the assault on this village, so that if he moves out with his cavalry or early pike and shot, we have a chance to either pull them back or cover with our light horse. I need to be a little bit cautious about moving my longbowmen as well, because they can't run that fast. So I need to keep them either close to terrain or close to supporting non-light troops, which brings risks of its own. Next turn. No dice. Alright, do we push this wing? I think if we're gonna have a battle, we must. I'm afraid I can't get these archers to the cover of the wood without passing through all this open ground, which I don't have time to do. So we might need to not really engage on this right wing without more cavalry support. Which we can provide, while these three stand in reserve and see what kind of reaction we get. Alright. Next turn. Alright. 0. Unfortunately, we could charge in here and then get wrecked by the counter charge. Let's threaten the flank. And oh no. Never mind. Withdraw. Shuffle along the edges. And wheel, and now we have to ask ourselves, can we take this on? And I think the answer is likely to be no. But we can at least risk our cavalry on an engagement. Meantime, yeah, that's not happening. Withdraw. And everybody run away. Do we push? To do what? Shuffle off to the flanks. And sit and wait. Yeah, I don't think an assault is doable. Next turn. Got a frag, that's good. Well, gotta take advantage. Okay, in the meantime, try for a cohesion check. Nope. Demo Lancers, Late Gendarmes. Take cover in the rough. Okay, let's cross. Probably a bad idea, like I said earlier, but I think it's our one chance to try to apply pressure before the rest of his army arrives. Okay, I think we're gonna get crushed by these veteran tercios. We're committed now. Next turn. Okay, well. So yeah, bow versus foot, minus 16%. Bow versus armor, minus 19%. So the casualties we can inflict are pretty pitiful. So that's bow alone, and it's 48 effective shots. Also pitiful. They're facing behind, which is interesting. Okay. Then what? Zip around. Remind me, what's in there? Lightfoot. I still need to approach from an angle. Alright, we need to get the swarm behind. Leonard says he feels surrounded, but at least his tercios are unflankable. And the early pike and shot are immune to flank charges. So the tercios are immune to both flank and rear charges. So all I can do is try to disrupt them by fire. Being superior, that's not terribly likely. Alright, next up, go for a disrupt there. Very good. And with that, we are free to move. Could try to disrupt this unit, but it's probably a waste of time. I'd be better off trying to do the same here. Nope. Shove them off. And maybe... No, I was hoping to pursue there. So it goes. Push this way. And then move past and try to go for a flank or something. Bit messy having to work through these lights, but we don't want to get too close to this either. Alright. Next turn. Held firm. Too bad. There we go. Alright, now just how bad is this? Quite bad. I'm going to ignore that. Turn our firing arc. Close. Let's see what that does for us. Break. No cohesion checks. Ugh. Light lance versus heavy lance. Not to mention armor superiority. Lock them in. Withdraw. Not good. Oh, that was a misclick. Shit. Let's try... Try for a rear charge. Try for one here as well next turn. And we'll try for one here. Hopefully after we lose these combats, we'll just fall back. If we do that, we even the odds a bit. So I think we'll do it. Yeah, this is going to be a disaster though. Leonard is less sure of my defeat. Ooh, fragged. Fragged, nice. Instant double drop. Bounced. He paid in disruption. Now we'll lose this next unit shortly. Ugh. Brutal. Okay. Try for a rear charge. Why not? Maybe for that exact reason. Try to hit these light gendarmes. 10. Try again. That's excellent. You get out of the way. And now you may push into range of the gendarmes. Can begin a straight up even engagement there. And pursue. Totally pointless. Okay. How is that? Terrible. Paraflank attack. Good. Now let's see where this takes us. And fire. And try a rear charge on the disrupted unit. Ah, yes. Now go for the break. Alright, whatever, guys. And then try for a rear charge on the gendarmes next turn. And we will not charge because we'll be disadvantaged versus the armor. Okay, how are we looking? confusing. We're looking confusing. Next turn. You have a lead, but can it be maintained? Ugh. Oh, very interesting. No cohesion failure. They're screwed, but hopefully they'll flee away from the main fighting and drag the veterans with them for a while. Up 26. We need 2% more before this unit fails. It might be doable. Oof. Past cohesion for now. Okay. Well, first off, we're going to charge in with our longbowmen here. Impact is just fine, whatever. But in melee, our swordsmen should come into play, yes. Oh, no. No, this is the later Elizabethan list. That's right. The first two tutor lists of longbowmen are also swordsmen. At this point, they are no longer professional soldiers, but the sort of leavings of the militia. So they're not trained melee fighters. That being said, the sheer numbers are giving them a strong win chance anyway. Next up. Good. Charge. And then let's have patience. There we go. And next up, yeah, shove them off. Keep them running. Good. Prepare a rear charge next turn. Alright, no advantage to either side there. Let's lock ourselves in so we can't fall back. I don't know if that works in Pike and Shot, actually. I guess we'll find out. In the meantime, charge in, I assume. I guess we could invite him to engage in a 2-to-1 firefight. Alright, what to do? You run away. There's danger in moving towards this with these medium foot, but they have plenty of space to move if they have to. Okay. And support. Set up a flank there. And go support our light infantry. On off. Can we hit anyone? No. Stay there for when they break. How are we looking? Quite good, surprisingly. Yeah, the swarm of light cavalry getting all these little mini rear charges in is doing the trick, I think. Maybe we'll win it this turn by breaking this unit, because I don't think they can break. I mean, I guess theoretically they could double drop to frag and then break, but it's extremely unlikely. Leonard says that he doesn't think it's only the light swarm. My foot held up pretty well. Maybe luck was on my side. Maybe. I still think it was the light lancers on my side getting all those rear and flank charges and causing cohesion drops. And these longbowmen did pretty alright with harassing fire early on too. There's that double drop though. So if they break, then we might not win this right away. Find out. Also, if they double drop. They held firm after a bad impact. 24, so it's not done because of this unit breaking. We've still got to work for it then. Hopefully we run far. They didn't pursue very far, so we need to move quickly to break these units of pikemen. Okay, well, let's get this flank off. And then everybody runs off the battlefield. Yeah. Next up, absorb some fire, threaten the flank, and open up. Good. This melee is ongoing. Let's get that rear charge. Very good. Oh, interesting. I didn't notice that. We have less armor. Doesn't make a huge difference. But it does mean that their total advantage is 18. It's not insignificant. Alright, join the fun here. Have to hope to get lucky there then. And what? Where do these archers go? Hopefully it doesn't matter. They won't be able to make much of an impression against the veteran tercios. Maybe push towards this village. Okay. Keep running off. Keep running off. Get ready to harass. Alright, hopefully we end it next turn so that we don't have to fight these guys anymore. Okay, and we have reached the end. And there we go. And like I said, the swarm of light lancers are the stars of the show. And the demo lancers are terrible, but they did quite well because they had good support. They didn't have to worry about taking on heavy infantry or gendarmes unsupported. And they do just fine, as mediocre as they are, for rear and flank charges or hitting already disrupted units. So, a good game to Leonard. I'm sure we'll play again. Until next time.